Frodo?
What, Sam?
What's the answer to this question?
Oh, Sam, I can't help you.
What is it a Dradson Neek anyway? It's nothing unnatural, is it?
Shh. Gentlemen, might I remind you that there be no cheating on this final exam, or you shall not pass!
Good morning, students. Welcome to school. Remember, the thought of the day is...
Now, you don't need super eyes when you have super ears.
Can I just say, that is amazing. And you, my friend, are a true hero.
All right, welcome to Ecology 101, the Say the Nerd and Geek in their natural habitat. I'm Gary.
It's Rudy.
John.
And we're the Knights who say... Geek! All right. Today we're going to be looking at...
Today? Okay.
Today. What could be today, tonight? What time is it? Anyway, whenever you pick this episode up, next. Talking about a show. And Rudy, I'm going to have you guys kind of shoot out here. A show that you had recommended to watch. And is this on Netflix? What is it on?
It's on Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime. Tell us a little bit about this show that you guys are really excited about. I didn't know a lot about. And tell us about the show, The Boys.
So this is an Amazon produced show called The Boys. It's based on a series of comic books with the same name, and I believe this comic is not very old. It's probably about 5 or 6 years old, but it's a. I got into it right at the end of season 1, and just kind of ran through it and just really hit it off with the storyline and the characters and how it was written, and I had to get one of you guys in it, and John was one that jumped in the pool with me.
Heck yeah.
I was a little more hesitant because I knew it was a kind of intense show, but the way you guys described it with the characters sounds really interesting.
Yeah, it is. As far as the violence, language, and all that, it's
sexual content.
It's pretty high up there. It's probably kind of, I don't know. We were talking about it, probably along the lines of like a Deadpool.
We're the most wanted lads in the country.
So what's your big plan?
You'll love it.
I think as far as language and violence and all that, so.
Not for everybody.
Not for everybody, for sure. I would review it. If you're a parent, if a child brings it up, then I would strongly recommend that you review it first before anybody else in the family sees it.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah, but no, it's a great storyline. I like to think of it as with all the the superhero genre that we watch the movies and review. This kind of really flips the script as far as what we think with the superhero and kind of the corporate background of like Marvel and DC and how these are companies with their own properties and really they all in the very end care about the almighty dollar, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Is that where it goes off the rails a little bit too?
Yeah. So you have a company Vought that created a super soldier serum called what is
Compound V.
Compound V. Mm-hmm. And so for years they've been
making soups.
They've been making superheroes. They've been giving them to kids.
Soup for soups.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's kind of in a Jedi sense to where they give it to them at birth and kind of keep tabs on them and see what kind of powers are brought up,
and then make them believe
that they were born with
it.
They
were born like that.
Dad, time to go. Not without you. I'll be right behind you. I am not leaving you with him, all right? You're just a kid. You're my kid. Dad. I'll be all right. I got this.
Although the parents know that they weren't.
Right.
So.
Gotcha.
It was kind of a
manufactured.
Yeah.
And they're all trying to get into what they call the Seven. Mm-hmm. So every soup is like, that's the A team, right? Everybody
that's the Justice League. Yeah. That's the Avengers.
Gotcha.
Vought runs the Seven.
The best of the best.
If you were to take like Marvel characters, you got the the Avengers, and then you've got the Defenders, right? So the Avengers are like boom. Then the Defenders are kind of like
right.
So you've got the Avengers, which are the Seven, and then the Defenders are like kind of all the other superheroes, gotcha. And they're all trying to get into that right. top tier.
They're all vying for being part of Vaughn. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the the big kind of storyline is the collateral damage that you don't really see. In the superhero movies that we watch with the the MCU and the DC universe,
except for Winter Soldier, we saw some of that, right? When they had to do the superhero, but this is more on a bigger scale. Gotcha.
Yeah, but that was the whole premise of that, right? That all these people in Sokovia had died, and you had the one guy who was sort of trying to get back at them for collateral damage.
Right.
But Vought tries to hide all that. They try to keep that under wraps.
Okay.
And
bad for business.
Yes, and they provide, sort of storylines or images for each of these superheroes that they need to, and they've got numbers, and they go through what demographic you're polling with.
Oh,
yeah, because
they're political.
Very political, but they're also they're trying to sell products all the time.
Wow. Yeah, so they have like the Vought Planet, which is like Planet Hollywood. Have the restaurant and they the audience gears towards whoever's their favorite superhero, and they have T-shirts, and they had the music, and they came out with an album.
They got food.
And I think it was it the beginning of season 2 where they were making the Seven movie?
Yes.
So they were filming a Avengers type movie, and
with different people, obviously, right?
No.
Oh, with them.
Superheroes are actually.
Oh, they act themselves. Gotcha. Wow. Talk about stepping out of the box.
Yeah, and then when they're not performing or something bad happens with them, they kind of drop them. So the guy who's sort of like the Aquaman, the Deep, he does some inappropriate things with the new girl, Starlight, and
she kind of does some Harvey Weinstein stuff.
Yeah, and so she throws it out there, and he has to apologize, but they just shove him in Ohio. And he's a water guy, right?
They're like, yeah,
that's funny.
It's like you'll be the local superhero for Ohio.
Yeah.
Guard those lakes.
So they have all these superheroes kind of in different regions, and
so they need them on call, like firemen or something, right?
But they're not really on call. They're stuffing them away.
No. That is insane.
Starlight, sticks and stones won't break my bones, but words.
No, sir. I'm sorry. I wasn't. It's just, he's not. I mean, why would he do that?
So they have local heroes. So Starlight was a local hero, kind of like in the Midwest. Very Christian, and she's very...
She has the power of light.
Yeah.
She creates beams of light.
So she eventually gets into the Seven, and then the Deep kind of takes advantage of her, and then she comes out and says what he does. So then he gets stuffed away. So then they're always trying to find the next superhero to fit that. And those guys who got kicked out are always trying to get back into the Seven. So there's all kinds of things going on.
Yeah. So when they focus on Starlight, she's a person that really looked up to Queen Maeve in the Seven, and her goal in life was to get into the Seven. That's the people that they looked up to, and like certain things, it's kind of like the old saying, like never meet your heroes, that kind of deal. So she finds out that it's not all that it's cracked up to be. It's kind of something where
elitist club.
You
kind of think
not
that
just elitist.
Yeah, it kind of loses its magic. So she thinks that everybody's just pure wanting to help, and it ends up being diluted with business, and everybody's got their own selfish.
What are my ratings? Where am I polling? What kind of my product selling? Doing commercials. They throw her into
plastic stuff.
Yeah, they throw her into the skimpy outfit that they want her to wear. Because it's going to sell with a certain demographic. Right. That kind of.
But
thing.
she's got a good background, and it's kind
of. She had an idea we're superheroes. Yes. You think of the Justice League, right?
and they have a whole team behind them, and behind the Seven on social media and advertisement and all this stuff. Wow. So they have a team of people that look for crime and what's going to happen. So when they find out, let's say that there was the thing at the shipping yard, with Starlight and the Deep, they found out that there's going to be a shipment of drugs that are coming. So they kind of so they find out that something's going to happen. So the team comes and starts setting up cameras and everything, and ends up being just like a. And
Starlight doesn't want to do this with the Deep, but they're like, no, we got to do a team up because that bolsters our ratings when there's a team up, and we fight crime. So it's all of this theatrics.
Wow.
and there's no substance behind any of it.
Yeah,
so.
I could see that. Wow, gotcha. It's sort of like remember in which Spider-Man was it where you had he did all, it was all an illusion. Mysterio.
It's very Mysterio-like.
Yeah, you set it all up. It's all a spin. Yes,
Yeah,
not
and
true.
that's what they're doing. They're constantly spinning things.
Wow. So what's real and what's not real?
Yeah.
And the real character's not good. It sounds like a lot of them.
So that's the vault and the superhero side. So now you have the boys. The boys are they're a group of vigilantes that kind of keep tabs on the supers and if they do something wrong, then they kind of take care of it and want to expose it.
And then I think we find an ethnic or female, or fingers crossed, an ethnic female to replace the Deep, and we're golden.
Gary?
Yeah.
Why am I sitting in a hot tub?
And holding bowls of cereal.
Well, just an idea I had for a commercial for my upcoming book, Chronolosity Fistful of Chronotons.
Okay, explain.
Well, my main character, Levy, invents a water-based time machine and is in a race against time to save his family, hence the hot tub.
So it's just the hot tub time?
It's not the hot tub time machine.
All right. Hot tub makes sense, I guess. But what's up with the cereal?
Well, when I was writing the book, you guys kept saying Chronotons sound like a breakfast cereal.
It does, actually. That's true.
So we're eating bowls full of Chronotons in the hot tub with two
That's the power of podcasting, Gary. Nobody can tell we're sitting in a hot tub eating a bowl of cereal.
All right. So let's dry up and think of a decent commercial for Gary's book.
Right.
So that's Carl Urban's Billy Butcher character. He was kind of in. I think they were all in kind of a Secret Service, Special Service.
They were kind of like the CIA. They all worked for the CIA because. Okay, so
so Billy Butcher, Mother Milk, and
Frenchie.
They're all part of the Secret Service or the CIA.
Central Intelligence Agency, and the woman who was running this group pulled them in because her kids got killed by a soup. So they started monitoring that, and she used a situation that happened with Billy Butcher and his wife. He thinks that Homelander has killed her, right? Done some pretty horrendous sexual things to her and then killed her. That's what he suspects, and she pulled him into this team. And so they had been going after Soups until I think, or maybe her kids did get killed after that. I can't remember what it was, but something like that happened. And so then these guys they all took off on their own and were doing their own thing. And then Dennis Quaid's son, he just gets pulled into it because he's working at like a Radio Shack, and he's got this girlfriend, and the guy who's like flashing it, who's because you can continue to sort of juice, so it's a drug. So Vought is really a pharmaceutical company. Ultimately.
Yeah.
So
all artificial supers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So he's juiced up on this stuff, and it's go fly by, and his girlfriend's down and gets run over by him and killed. So then Carl Urban's character, Billy Butcher, seeks him out, brings him in to help him, and eventually he becomes sort of part of this team. So
yeah,
he gets the team back together.
Yeah, Billy Butcher kind of sees him as just like a ticket into getting that particular super.
Yes.
But Huey ends up
like
becoming a bigger part of the team.
Which was like the Invisible Man, right? Didn't they go after him first?
Right.
Who had like diamond skin, so it's hard to kill him. So they capture him to try to get more information out of him.
Gotcha.
The Invisible Man guy.
Gotcha. Wow. Interesting. So this is kind of a keep an eye on it. It's got 2 seasons now, right? You said.
Yeah, 2 seasons out. They just got I think in the middle of season 2 they got green light for the season 3. So everybody's coming back. So there's a big I don't want to spoil it, but there's a really big tie-in into a pretty good season 3. I think it'll be built up into a really good season 3. So they do leave something hanging for you.
Gotcha.
So we end it with Storefront kind of getting the crap kicked out of her.
Stormfront, yeah, she's demolished.
Yeah, so she gets Anakin Skywalker. So
yeah, she comes in season 2 and replaces Starlight, because Starlight becomes sort of like they give her a negative image, like she's some sort of terrorist. Because what they've done is, so Homelander goes out and takes the serum and starts making what they call terrorist soups, so they have something to fight against.
What?
So they manufacture their own supervillains.
So they manufacture.
That's
their own
crazy.
Yeah. So they can look good and they can start fighting them.
That's Megamind.
Yeah, and they'll they were putting it into when we all think of Afghanistan, we don't really think the greatest of things. So they'll put they put a supervillain in Afghanistan because that's where all the villains are from.
They're all from the Middle East.
A little stereotype in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they try to stereotype that.
Wow.
It's just like in the 80s movies, who were the bad guys? The Germans.
No, well, the Russians.
And the Japanese.
So that's kind of what they do. And Stormfront ends up being a Nazi. I think she was married to Heinrich Himmler.
Yeah, she was, and then I think she was with what's his name, the original Vought, the guy that created Vought.
Oh yeah.
So has this been around since the 40s?
Mm-hmm.
All this stuff's been going on.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Exactly.
Gotcha. So this is not brand new.
Yeah, but she doesn't age. In fact, they show a picture of her with her daughter, who's like in her 80s.
Her daughter had already died.
Yeah,
right?
so she has all this Nazi ideology in there, and her and Homelander hook up because first off, she tries to. She was called another superhero back in the day, Liberty, but Liberty had killed a black man for no reason.
So she kind of disappeared,
and they find out that Stormfront is actually Liberty. So what happens is she kind of because Homelander's losing face
points.
He's losing ratings.
So she helps him with social media on how to build it up, and then they start having a relationship,
propaganda,
and they start build. And he finds out that she's a Nazi, but in fact, she shares that with him. He doesn't care because he's falling in love with her, and he would, they're getting their numbers up, and the two of them are going to kind of run the show. They're going to run Vought, basically, is the way they look at it. And so at the end, she's kind of horrible. Ends up getting really messed up by the only known, or we at least think is the only born superhero, which is Homelander's son through this horrible act with
Becca.
With Becca, which is Billy Butcher's wife. He thought she was dead, but he finds out that she wasn't. She's been hidden away from Homelander, and then Homelander finds her and wants to have a relationship with the son, and so it becomes even more complex. And then he finds out about all this. Butcher does. And he hates soup, so now she's got a kid who's a soup, but this is his wife, and it gets really
a lot of stories that they learn to love the enemy, right?
Yeah, there's so many characters that have their own different story and their own reasons for doing things, and I think the series does really well with kind of touching on each character. I don't think there's really any character that's kind of underdeveloped. I mean, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of little important things that with every character, and it just makes a story that much better.
What about the truth? What truth? What is the truth?
They tie it in really well with everybody. Yes, it's really put together very well, I thought.
Oh, that's also for.
Yeah, no.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the biggest thing that kind of caught my eye is the whole humanity aspect of someone, just a average Joe that has superpowers, and how they would deal with it, as far as if they would use it for good, because we're all imperfect people,
right?
We'll all have selfish tendencies, and how how normal people would use it, not fictional storyline Captain America, truth, justice, and the American way kind of deal. It's what
would a real person do? Yeah.
But everybody has those character flaws. Even Superman, they all do them, right?
No.
Well,
no.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
no.
They have the when someone asks you in an interview, they're like, oh, what's your flaw? Well, I'd work too hard, Or,
okay, look,
I am a perfectionist.
Nobody shares.
Let's talk about Aaron. Like, he would go steal cinder blocks and break them, right? Mm-hmm. That's not like what these guys are doing is pretty horrendous stuff, right?
Right. What I'm saying is they all have issues. Some worse, way worse than others. And would you give them abilities, right? If you knew that.
There's a scene that has bothers Queen Maeve throughout the end of season 1 and throughout season 2 is, they jump in and do there's a hijacking. So Queen Maeve and Homelander team up and they bust through the to the airplane and it's about to crash.
Well, they kill him, but accidentally.
Oh, Homelander accidentally kills the pilots because he lasers and it goes through the cockpit.
Oh no!
And so the plane's going down, and Maeve is like, "Let's save the plane." He's like, "I can't do that. I can't change the trajectory of this plane." So he's like, "Let's just go. We're gonna leave them." And Maeve is trying to save.
At least a little girl that was. The mom asked him. There was a mom that
and he's like,
pushed a little girl.
And Homelander's like, "You're going to leave her alive so she can tell him that we let all these people die." So they can't spin this. If she lives, they can't spin the story.
So these decisions are all based on a big picture of what are the people going to think of? What's going to be the main storyline? What's going to be the main story? What's my ratings going to be like?
Wow.
It's not a matter of let me just save at least one person, or at least risk the life of the super. They're like, no, we're out of here.
Yeah, and Homelander is this psychopathic guy who only cares about what people think of him.
Very narcissistic, is
very narcissistic, very psychopathic, and very concerned just about whether or not people give him praise. So he doesn't care what he does behind the scenes and how he hurts people, as long as people praise him.
I know that some of you are a little upset by that video online of me stopping the terrorists. And I just want you to know that I understand. I'm upset too.
Because he was sort of raised he was raised in a lab. So he never got any of those. So he's basically raised by himself. He never got any love from any parents. And he's got this whole backstory that's not even true about him.
Yeah, so he left. Yeah, he separated from his parents when he was like 1. And then was raised in a lab, and so the only contact that he ever had was doctors and people coming in and examining him and stuff. Right. So he never had actual human and emotional contact. So once he starts becoming an actual superhero and starts getting all this affection and love, then that's really kind of the basis of what he does. Is like I'm just doing it for the admiration.
Attention-getting behaviors.
Yeah. And Elizabeth Shue's character, who he ends up killing.
Oh, Elizabeth Shue's in there?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
she's
awesome.
Great in them.
She's great. He ends up killing her. But she can console him. She's always acting like sort of like, it's really kind of creepy because it's kind of his mom, but sort of a sexual undertones with it too.
Right.
So it's really kind of creepy with Homelander, how that's why we say, kids shouldn't be watching this stuff. Gotcha. But it's really creepy how she can kind of calm him down until the end of season 1 when he just basically says, "You've been lying to me, so I'm going to..." He offs her.
Wow.
So like I said, it's a great series. Again, it's viewer discretion
advised.
It's a very a lot of strong emotional content.
R17 kind of
Gotcha. Like
so
an NC-17 is what I would put it. I don't know what the actual rating is on it, but that's what I would think it wouldn't probably line up.
Gotcha. Yeah, you don't want your 7-year-old. Like I don't have my little 10-year-old watching this with me. I'm like, get out of the room.
Right. I gotcha. Well, sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we keep us posted on that one. I will. There's so many things to watch, but I know you guys keep me posted on that, and we'll see what we can do to check it out. So I'm still Gary.
Still Rudy.
Still John.
And class is dismissed.
This is the boys.
Tattoo. I mean, come on, guys. Nobody wants innocent people to get hurt. Of course not. But sadly, well, the bad guys, they don't think like us. And so, sometimes, well, these things just happen.
Thanks for listening to Necology 101.
Thanks, everybody.
If you like what you hear, hit that subscribe button. Stay up to date with what's new in the fandom universe. You can find Necology 101 on Spotify, YouTube, Podbean, or wherever you enjoy listening to podcasts. We love to hear from our fans, and your input helps make the show possible. Find us on Facebook and Instagram at God Among Geeks, or you can contact us at necology101class@gmail.com. We know you have a lot of fandom choices out there, so thanks for including us in your universe. Because we are the knights who still say, Nick!
Necology 101 is in association with Wolf Moon Sound Production.